Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I got invited to cover Crispifest. In Boiling Springs, right off Highway 9, at New Groove is where I spent most of my time, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. When a couple of guys who were up to no good started brewing beer in the neighborhood. They had one too many, and Beer Me GVL got fright. He said, "Take your butt back to Columbia tonight." I whistled for a cab, but when it came near, the license plate was fresh, had anime in the mirror. If anything, I could say that this cab was rare, but thought, nah, forget it, you're home, so New Groove. I pulled up to the house about 10 a.m., and I yelled to the cab, "You home, smell you later." I looked at the brewery, I was finally there to sit on my throne as the Prince of Crispifest.
Back with more from Crispifest with Brett, co-owner of Alga Beer Company, not a South Carolina brewery. They're down in Florida, Pensacola. Now, that introduces an interesting theme because it's getting into summer now. It's quite hot. These crispy boys, Crispifest, as the festival today is aptly named. That's what people typically want to drink when the weather gets hotter.
Yep.
In Florida,
it's year round, baby.
Yeah.
We do a lot. We focus a lot on lager, a lot of saison, a lot of lighter styles. It's kind of what our niche is, where we are. We've tried to make imperial stouts. We've made dark beers. We do have a core dark lager, but in that realm, it's still light, still pretty easy to drink. But most of our sales come from lighter beer, so we feel right at home in this festival.
So was everything you brought today still in the vein of crushable Crispies?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. We brought a Kolsch that's 5% made with Riverbend Malt from North Carolina.
Okay.
And then we brought our premium Florida lager. It's called East Hilsner. It's also made with 100% Riverbend Malt, Cascade hops, and some Munich lager yeast.
So is Riverbend a relationship that you consistently maintain, or just for things that have a relationship to when you're up here?
No. So East Hilsner, one of the two beers we brought today, is a core beer, and it's consistently made with Riverbend Malt. We just enjoy the products that they produce, and we think that it's a far superior malt to anything that we could get from BSG or CMG or any of the other distributors. Good malt makes better beer. So.
On the record.
100%.
So talk about the brand of Alga as far as being down in Florida, because again, like you said, the crispy season tends to be longer than in most other states, or all other states.
Yeah.
So, what type of beer do you put out to the clientele as far as being able to sell drinking beers that aren't just crispy Pilsner lager type of thing? Like, did you try to excel in other styles that maybe people wouldn't want to drink when they're sitting on the beach?
We've done some imperial stouts. We've done darker beers. We have a core hazy IPA that I don't necessarily view as like a beach beer.
Yeah.
But it's still our number one taproom seller. It's not something that we love, but we make it. We enjoy it. We don't step back a little bit. We don't make a beer that we don't like. I want to make that very clear. But we do try and focus more on the easier drinking beers, because in Pensacola we have a crowd that's not as well versed in craft beer, so they always want something that's easier drinking that tastes like beer. So that's where we have a lot of fun. We can make an American lager that tastes like a beer. We have a Kolsch that just it inherently tastes like beer. So that's where we kind of found our lane, is making like true to style, classic styles, and that's what we have the most fun doing.
So staying in that geographical vein, Pensacola is in the Panhandle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how does your brand in the Panhandle compare to other Florida breweries? Because there's a lot of big name Florida breweries, whether that's Orlando, Miami, Tampa, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
how does your brand in the Panhandle compare to the other big name breweries down in the other parts of Florida? Because Florida's a big state.
Yeah. So, like, for instance, in 2021, 2022, I can't remember, 2022, we won Best American Lager in the state of Florida.
Okay.
And that's the East Hildner that we brought today. I feel like we hold our own, but where Pensacola is situated, our craft beer market is, a couple years behind or not as adventurous, because we do have a lot of like tourists. That's a big part of what we, see in our tap room. But, like imperial stouts and dark beers just don't really sell that well. Like, we make them from time to time because we enjoy the styles and we want to have the technical challenge of it. But at the same time, you can't focus on that stuff because that's not what keeps the lights on. So it's more of like a passion project more than like what we do to make money.
Yeah.
So
this Coolsh, I will say, is a lot more like maltier, a little bit heavier than the Coolsh style typically suggests. So, are there any styles where like they tend to stray away from the certified craft beer judge type of style versus like, okay, we need to make what sells to our clientele versus what sells to the nerd?
Not necessarily, because I think that most of the stuff that we make is within style guidelines. Because if we don't do it that way, then we can't put the title of what the style is on it. Because we're at heart, we are purists when it comes to the styles that we make, so we want to make them as true to style as possible. With that said though, we do have some certain styles that we do have a little bit of leeway with, and we do get a little adventurous from time to time. But as far as like making beers to spec, that's mostly what we're trying to do.
Well, what's your brand like? What, are you close to the beach? Do you take advantage of the Florida ambiance, so to speak?
So, branding, not necessarily, because where we are...
I see a Blue Marlin on your shirt.
Yeah, so this is based off of an old like bait and tackle shop that's like just east of us.
Okay.
But as far as Alga itself, like, we do try and dip our toes into like some retro stuff. We don't really like tie ourselves down to like the coastal branding like facade, because it just doesn't, it's not who we are as people. We like good graphic design. We like good aesthetics. We think that what we do is a good mix of all of those things, but also bringing in some new age stuff. It's just we're a little more playful, and we don't take ourselves as seriously as most people.
Tell me about people coming down to Florida, people coming down to the Panhandle, whether they're local or tourists. To experience your brand, what are some words you want to get out to a greater audience as far as like, hey, come to Alga?
I get this question a good bit. My response is always, we're a place for everybody, regardless of, race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, however you live your life. We want you to know that Alga Beer Company is a place for you. We're very open.
Beer knows no boundaries.
Exactly, yeah. And even at a lower level than that, like, we as people should be more accepting of everyone. Like, like, whether you agree with a lifestyle or a, whatever it is. Like, in essence, I don't know if I can say this, but we feel it's bullshit. Like labeling people as like wrong or right, that's stupid.
That's right.
Everybody is welcome at our place. We love having anyone from all walks of life, and that's the one thing that we try and promote is like opening our doors to everybody, because at the end of the day, everybody's got money and everybody drinks beer.
That's right.
So I don't give a shit. But that being said, we are more liberal leaning, and we open the doors to everybody, but we're a pro queer establishment. We have drag shows every month. We do trivia. We do bingo. It's all, like, there's something for everybody, and that's kind of the mantra, is a place for everybody, because there's something that everyone is going to like.
So, someone walks in, regardless of their political, moral, social leanings. What's the beer that you say you need to try this first when they first walk into your tap room?
Any of them. Because we
Come on, come on.
No,
Give
we
me
don't
one.
put out beer that we don't promote one over the other. But we do think our East Hills or our premium Florida lager is the beer that can hit everybody because it's easy drinking. We're proud to be Southern, so we're happy that we can use Southern grown ingredients. It's just it's like us. It's a beer for everybody. So.
And you crush it on the white, sandy, destined Pensacola beaches.
If you can't, we're not doing our job right.
That's right. Brett, thank you so much for joining me.
Appreciate it.
Cheers. The Kolsch. I always think of Kolsch as something light and crushable. It's a little more heavier, malty, but I like it.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually not a big Kolsch fan, and this one is something I can drink a lot of.
Hell yeah. Glad to hear it.
Thank you for joining me. Cheers.